Hey y'all, I am trying this YouTube live experience and for the first time. And so we're just checking things out. We're checking things out. And so, um, yeah, it will get better over time. Um, but welcome. This is the start of a rebirth of this channel, a rebirth of content that will be coming through in this space. And so, in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the journey um, and where we're going and what the Goddess Move platform, the community which it stands on, and its foundations. And so this is where I'm going to go in this video. I'm going to try and keep it uh, not too long, but this will be maybe about 10 to 20-minute video. And so if you are new to my work, it's very interesting. My camera is like kind of showing me as opposites. So my right is over here, my left is over here. It's very, very unusual, but here we are. Yeah, for those of you who are new to me, my name is Nicole, and I also go by the name of Oshia. And Oshia is my priestess name. And um, I am the Goddess Moves is something that I've created over a few years ago, probably. It's been a moment, probably over maybe 5 years ago. And this built, what you may not know about me is that this platform was built on the foundation of helping, being of service to create a space where women could feel seen and supported and to know they're not alone through, any womb imbalances to really unearth and unleash their the goddess energy, the goddess embodiment that exists within them. And so to date, I've curated spaces uh, that for over 250,000 people. My background is in dance, art, and spiritual wellness. So, and then through the Goddess Moves, we've impacted several hundred women to really encapsulate and live and be what it is to live their liberation and to serve from getting into the deepest parts of the womb space. I've done that. I've hosted online conferences. I've been a part of a lot of online conferences and an international speaker and movement facilitator. And so I performed in places like the Madison Square Garden for the heads of state of the UN, and I've performed in small theaters and schools. I've been a lot of places. But what you don't know is that it took a while to get there, and I remember very vividly the moment where that shifted everything, the moment that just impacted it shook up my core. I was all this work of being a professional dancer and teaching and all these things, and unfortunately it was coming from a disconnected place. My foundation was disconnected. And what you don't know about me is that, even though I teach a lot of embodiment and connection and womb health and ritual and embodying the goddess energy now, and the connection is real, it's more sovereign. It wasn't like that before. The last thing I wanted to do was be a leader. I was quite comfortable being in the back of the studio, doing my thing, dancing, and have the choreographer tell me what to do. I didn't want to lead nobody. It wasn't until I found myself on a steel sheet, a stainless steel sheet. And I was lying down, and then I'm seeing fluorescent lights above me. I see people around me kind of not with their backs towards me, moving quick, talking to each other in whispers and low voices, steel sharp instruments on tables. And then I look over to my side and I see and I hear, "Hello, Nicole, I'm your anesthesiologist. I'm going to count down from 10 to 1 before you go under." And as he was saying this, it became very, very real that what was about to happen is that they were going to cut into my womb and they were going to remove benign tumoroids called tumors, benign tumors from my womb space, from my belly. They were going to cut into my body to remove these benign tumors. And when the very real realization was about to happen, I I began to pray. All I wanted was for this surgery to be successful because there was a possibility I could lose my uterus. All I wanted was to wake up from the surgery successful, and the surgery was successful, and to wake up. I made this deep prayer. 10, please. 9, 8, let me wake up. 7, 6, let all go well. 5, 4, please respect my body. 2. And I was out. I was out. And the surgeons, my doctor, did what they needed to do. I'm happy to say I did wake up. And when in the distance, I heard babies. I heard babies. I heard like cries of babies. And what I didn't know is that they put me in on the far side of a cesarean ward. And I was hearing babies coming into the world. And on the other side, here I was waking up, and the doctor tells me, "We got him, and you still have your uterus." There was a wash of breath that went over my entire body. And I knew in that moment things were going to change. Everything has changed. I knew in that moment that my womb was going to be one of my greatest teachers. I knew in that moment that there was a soul assignment that was greater than what I thought my assignment on this earth was supposed to be. I learned it was way greater. And in that moment, I knew that something big had been released from my womb, something big that was holding me back. And now there was this spaciousness, and that there was a momentum, there was a rebirth, the rebirth to support and hold space for women, for the feminine body to really understand and advocate for the womb, for the radical self-love, for the empowerment of understanding our bodies, to be in a space where we can be pain-free in our menstrual cycles. This was the new rebirth that was coming through me, and I knew in that moment that things were never going to be the same. Now, fast forward here I was standing on the stage in Glastonbury for the Goddess Conference, standing in front of, almost 500 people, doing a workshop later on for people all over the world in the UK, Europe, the United States, and beyond. Here I was sharing the wisdom that flows through me and that I learn with this international community. I thought, wow, wow, it's something when we give in to the soul purpose gifts of our lives. So that is how the Goddess Moves got started. Shortly after, maybe about less than a year later, the Goddess Moves platform was born. And so this is where I came from. I came from a dance background, an arts background, and then slowly the wellness, the spirituality really started to take over because I used dance as a large part of my work. And if you work, whether in group or one-on-one, dance is a big part of the embodiment piece, because we can move and release and sound out the release of energy from our bodies so we can create space. We can create space to bring balance and support the body, support the womb. And this is what I stand for. One of the things that was really, really like frustrating for me during my womb cleaning, through my womb clearing journey, is that I could never get a straight answer about why is this happening, and also, what can I do to support my body? I was getting stalemated in a lot of places that I trusted to have the answers to, um, and they didn't have anything for me other than cut it out, be on birth control, wait until menopause, um, or be in some sort of medication. And I had to make a personal sovereign choice because of the fibroids were just too big to go about it the more natural way. So I did choose surgery. But, just the oppressive suggestions and experiences I've had in certain places, it really left me with not a lot of hope. And I knew if I was going through what I was going through, I knew others were going through the same thing. And people were coming to me and say, "Yo, this is the experience I had. What did you do?" This is how revolutionary and radical this work is, because the womb is the space of creation, of the creation of humanity, right? So, why wouldn't we give it more care when it's responsibility? When it's really the design is to populate, right? Part of the design, because it has a spiritual and energetic component to our womb space. But I just noticed that, and especially when it came to Black, Indigenous, and people of color, it's almost like we were being swept under the rug, saying it affects you more than it affects our Caucasian brothers and sisters. Why? Why? And I couldn't get an answer. I couldn't get an answer. It was just like, yeah, it's normal. It's normal for us to live in pain, because the quote unquote misconception. Oh, you know, these cultural groups can have a higher pain threshold. Others don't. It doesn't matter. But that was the hindrance. So what I stand for, what I stand for is what it is for a feminine body to create their own path to power. Because the more knowledge and the more access she has to resources in terms of the knowledge, hearing the stories from the mother, the grandmother, great, and so on, really tapping into that. Um, Knowing the, the systems of our bodies, knowing how to support our menstrual cycles so it can be in harmony, knowing how to align with the cycles in from our bodies so we can create more harmony and less resistance. This is radical, revolutionary work, and it's not new. It's not new. It's not new. It's been there for generations. However, there is still shame about a woman bleeding monthly. And this is our natural detox, intuitive time is when we bleed. And it's being reduced to I need to pop a pill so I can take this pain away so I can do my thing. Right? And I am such a big, like, I've experienced this. That was me, right? That was me. And it, unfortunately, I didn't pay attention, and then I had I was forced to pay attention to it, you know. The body was just like, look. So that is a bit of my story. Invite you to check out the show, the notes, the details from this video. And if you want to stay connected, the link is there. And let's connect. If there's something that resonated with you, please put it in the chat. So this feels complete. I want to thank you for watching the video and look forward to more content on this YouTube channel. Okay. Bye, everybody. Mhm.